Flames take out apartments in Salt Lake City. Find out who came to the rescue.
And were you crowded at last year's Hal? See what USU is going to do about it this year.
Football struggles, but soccer surges. It's a good news, bad news sports report.
The fall colors have started to change, but how about your weather? We'll have all this and more coming up on this week's edition of ATV News.
ATV News. I'm Bailey McMurdy.
And I'm Melissa Youngberg. Logan police and detectives continue investigating the case involving the Pi Kappa Alpha fraternity. On September 25th, members of the fraternity brought a 17-year-old USU student to the hospital for alcohol poisoning. Fraternity members claim that the underage girl came to the party already intoxicated. The fraternity is under suspension by the university. James Morales, vice president of USU Student Services, said that once the investigation is complete, USU will most likely make a formal announcement of any policy changes. It has been announced that most of the investigating is coming to a close and should be wrapped up sometime next week.
Starting school and figuring out what to do with the rest of your life can be complicated. A major fair was held last Friday with hopes of helping students find a major that fits their needs.
The 8th Annual Major Fair, sponsored by University Advising, was held last Friday in the TSC International Lounge.
I'm looking for a major, just browsing, kind of trying to figure out what I want to do.
The Major Fair provided students with an opportunity to learn about the different programs available here at USU.
There are a lot of students that really don't know what they're going to do. We've had a couple who stopped by and they're like, I'm a sophomore, I need to figure out what I'm doing.
Students were also given the opportunity to explore the different majors and minors available at Utah State with department representatives.
When you find something you're interested in, you want to learn a little more about it, they're very helpful.
So is the Major Fair really beneficial for students who are unsure of what they want to do?
It has kind of directed me a little more to a different side of my current major, which I like the sounds of it better.
I think it's at least a good place for them to start, to let students know what's out there and what's available to them.
For ATV News, I'm Autumn Struve.
If you missed out on the major fair, you can always contact the University Advising Center for more information about different majors and programs offered here at USU.
You can contact the Advising Center via phone at 435-797-3373. For a firefighter, there may be no such thing as downtime. 2 firefighters were en route to Ogden when they saw flames coming from a downtown Salt Lake apartment building. Fireman Scott Kidman called the fire in while his partner Ashley Phillips went inside to get everyone out, kicking in several doors. According to reports, 1 family was displaced and up to 3 people were injured with minor burns. It took 12 units and 50 firefighters to put out the blaze. The fire was caused by a cigarette. You think you're a hot shot on the court? But how do your skills match up with an Aggie legend?
Students passing by the TSC patio on Monday got to find out, and thanks to Meredith Kinney, you will too.
Despite a few minor hiccups with the TSC patio, Natural Resource Week's Jared Quayle basketball shootout went off without a glitch. Passers-by on the TSC patio Monday got the chance of a lifetime to play basketball against Aggie legend Jared Quayle. But despite all the challengers, only 2 were able to beat Jared Quayle.
We were doing it for the College of Natural Resources. It's a little thing that I guess Blake Thomas put on and the other people in the presidency. It's just to get people aware of natural resources and get them concerned about it.
Some players, like this girl, who had never played basketball before, put up a very good showing and ended up beating Jared Quayle in the end.
How long have I been playing basketball? For like the last 30 seconds. I've never played, I've played like horse and stuff, but never on like a team or anything.
It's a humbling experience. I mean, I don't know, people have always beat me throughout my life. It just makes me want to get better.
Others fell short, but said the experience was something they just couldn't pass up.
It really put me down a little bit. It was definitely fun playing him, but You know, he's just too good. Didn't miss a thing.
The winners were entered into a drawing for basketball signed by the 2011-2012 USU teams. Looks like that competition for that one won't be very steep, since only 2 people made it through.
Have you ever felt the portrayal of women in advertisements can sometimes be provocative and inappropriate? Well, a women in gender studies group on campus showed a film that argued just that.
Just as it's difficult to be healthy in a toxic physical environment.
The film is called Killing Us Softly 4. It is the 4th movie of a string of films feminist Jean Kilborn has produced to show how she feels the media is affecting women in society. After the film, a few students lingered to discuss what they had seen.
Students met here at the TSC auditorium to see and discuss how what once was considered pornographic and pornography is now considered commonplace and acceptable.
I've always recognized how women are portrayed kind of negatively and like they're objects through media and advertising, but just being in there and seeing actual examples, it was a lot more shocking than I've kind of thought before. There were a lot of ads in there that kind of, you know, really portrayed women as objects that, you know, 3 or 4 men can just come and do what they want with her. And it's kind of frustrating that the women, you know, actually agree to acting out this way for that advertising, just, you know, to gain profit.
So the image isn't real, it's artificial, it's constructed, but real women and girls measure ourselves against this image every single day.
Jessica Black, ATV News.
The Women in Gender Studies group plans on holding more events like this in hopes of raising awareness and eventually stopping what they see as objectifying women.
Stick around for Medieval Madness, weather, and sports all coming up. It'll be a night to remember.
How would you react to seeing a man dressed in armor wandering around the quad? Or perhaps a young maiden weaving a loom? Well, that's what happened at Medieval Madness held by the Museum of Anthropology. And here's our own knight, Randall Henry. Hey, Randall, you look like you gained a little weight.
Yeah, this armor weighs about 120 pounds altogether. And it's just part of a recreational outfit that like what was used in the Medieval Madness.
Do you like knights? Do you like medieval combat? Do you like swords, spears, armor, all the shining gear? Is that not your thing? Perhaps you like cooking, dancing, singing, and other merriment. All of this was available at Medieval Madness, an event hosted by the Museum of Anthropology and presented by the Society for Creative Acronism.
What I'm doing is ankle looming. What I'm doing is a trim, a very basic trim. And the pattern is a square pattern. Come in, it's for trims around the cuffs or around the neck, around the bottom of the. You can actually do as wide as around a 4-inch.
While people moved around looking at the various displays and just chatting among each other, presenters from the SCA talked about the various aspects of medieval life, and it even allowed students and children to touch the equipment that they brought in for demonstrations and display, making it an extremely popular attraction at the event, displaying the different weapons and armors used through the centuries, including padded armor as well as chainmail and some plate mail.
Setting the links permanently.
This event, and others like it held by the Museum of Anthropology, allows students, children, and adults of all ages to experience different lifestyles and perhaps live a fantasy for a day. Randall Henry, ATV News.
Now, if you missed out on that, you can always go to the Whittier Center on Wednesdays at 7 because the SCA puts on similar events there.
Thanks, Randall. You're looking good out there. For more information on the SCA, you can go to www.sca.org. If you have a wild witch cackle, maybe you made it to the Witch Festival last Saturday. Sorry about that. The community gathered together for the event in celebration and anticipation of Halloween. Kelsey Keller forgot to take her hat and broom to the event, but she does have more on the story for us.
You may be wondering why you saw a flock of witches walking by the Logan Courthouse last Saturday. Well, the answer is they were celebrating food, art, and everything Halloween. Wellsville local Denise Lindsay put the event together after years of throwing Halloween parties with her friends.
Always loved Halloween. Started out in Wellsville. Just would do it at the old tabernacle there, and then it just kept growing.
The Witch Festival, also known as What a Witch Wants, was inspired by the Witch Festival, which takes place at Gardner's Village, located in Ogden, Utah. This is the first time the event has happened here in Logan, and hopefully with passing years, attendance will grow. Not only did many ladies come out to sport costumes and do some home decor and jewelry shopping, but the kids got in on the fun too. Children took part in face paintings, and little girls even got the chance to make crafts with Miss Cache Valley.
I think that there needs to be a lot more available for the community to come out for, not necessarily just college students, because I think there's always a lot of stuff going on. Just because we're near a university, but I think it's a really good opportunity for the kids to come out and be with their families too.
Many of the families also ate dinner together since soup bowls were for sale, but these weren't regular soup bowls. These soup bowls were dyed orange. The caramel and chocolate dipped apples quickly became a huge hit with people of all ages. So with a carameled apple in hand and a broomstick in the other, families left the Witch Festival in the Halloween spirit. Kelsey Keller, ATV News.
Well, Halloween is fast approaching, and I still haven't decided what I'm going to dress up as. Do you have any idea, Melissa?
Well, there were some ladies in there with some pretty unique costumes. Maybe you could steal some ideas from them and dress up all witch-like. Well, but it looks like some people in the community were also able to enjoy the Witch Festival.
Well, last Saturday was a day you could see a lot of hairy runners sporting a mustache for a 5K run. I guess you could consider that costume for Halloween.
It's for sure true. I was there to see how it all fit together.
Everybody should run with mustaches on.
USU's Parks and Recreation Club held a 5K mustache dash last Saturday.
It's always different when you can run and have fun at the same time, rather than just be miserable the whole 3 miles. Because it's cold, it's chilly, but it's kind of fun to come run with your friends and all sport a mustache.
I feel good. It's the first time I've ever done a race with a mustache, because I had to use a duct tape one because it's hard to grow one.
A guy had a yarn mustache, then you see the handlebar, and one kid even came with a crocheted beard that was attached to his hat. That was probably my favorite.
It's kind of like a costume, but it's not as much like baggage as you're running as a costume. So it's just kind of an easy way to dress up, fun way to just promote a run.
Yeah, I wouldn't have ran it without the mustache.
I just thought it was fun. I think that they should have more fun 5Ks like this, just like dressing up, because it just gets more people excited to run.
The race wasn't just for the mustaches. It was also a fundraiser for Sub for Santa.
I just wanted to make it meaningful, I guess, kind of have more than just, I mean, 5Ks are awesome. People get to get out, associate, you know, get some exercise, and you know, we just thought we'd throw something else into that and make it a little bit more purposeful.
I just want to say to all those people that can really grow mustaches, I wish I was you.
Melissa, I've always wondered what it'd be like to actually be able to grow mustaches or facial hair.
But would you want like a full beard or like the handlebar? How fancy would you go here?
I don't know, but it would be giant. It would be giant.
Giant.
Yeah.
So then it would be legendary.
Exactly.
So Meredith, what's the weather going to be like? Are there going to be any rainstorms or anything that are going to make me rust?
I'll let you know coming up in weather next. The cold snap will continue with a high of 51 and a low of 19 on Thursday. Friday will start to warm up with a high of 58 and a low of 27. Perfect weather to curl up with the honey and watch some scary movies on your Halloween weekend. That's it for weather. Now let's send it over to Carly Lichty for sports.
You've heard it's been a tough week for Sorry about that. You've heard it's been a tough week for Aggie sports. I'll have the bright spots for you after this break. Welcome back to this edition of ATV Sports. We had a full schedule last weekend with most of the action taking place on the road. And yet another heartbreaking loss for our Aggie football team. Last Saturday, Utah State opened the game with a 14-0 lead and held that lead for 3 quarters but could not hold on in the fourth, falling to Fresno State 31-21. Robert Turbin rushed for 145 yards with 1 touchdown. Chucky Keaton was 16 of 32 passing with 1 touchdown. Bobby Wagner totaled only 8 tackles, his first game this season without double-digit tackles. With this loss, the Aggies fall to 2-4 overall and 0-1 in WAC play. Utah State returns home to the friendly confines of Romney Stadium as they host Louisiana Tech this Saturday at 1 p.m. Women's soccer steals a win on the road as the Lady Ags posted their 6th shutout of the season, winning over Nevada 2-0. Both teams were tied at 0 until the 70th minute when USU junior defender Natalie Norris broke the tie with a header for her 3rd goal of the season. Utah State then scored their 2nd goal in the 86th minute when Kendra Pemberton took a deflection off the defender and scored into an open net. The Aggies remain on the road next week when they head to Idaho to take on the Vandals this Saturday at 4 p.m. for its final regular season road match. Well, the women's volleyball team did not have a very smooth start to their season and have been looking to ignite the fire in the end of the season to get some wins. They had 2 games in the Spectrum last week, and Bailey was there to see if the Aggies had brought their A game.
The Utah State women's volleyball team was coming out of 2 losses, one against New Mexico State and the other against Idaho. The women came into the game against the Bulldogs looking ready to claim another W instead of another loss. All-American Liz MacArthur lived up to her title with 16 kills and 10 digs for her 10th double-double for the season and the 22nd of her career. She added 2 service aces to the game, and Shay Sorensen didn't disappoint either. She had 10 kills and 8 blocks to go along with her career high of 8 digs. USU finished the match with a hitting percentage of .188, with Fresno hitting only .048. The Aggies finished in 4 sets, letting the Bulldogs take home 1 set. The next game was filled with pink as the women supported looking for a cure against breast cancer. Fans, cheerleaders, and players donned pink clothes and ribbons to dig for a cure. And it looks like the Aggies were in it to win it. Liz MacArthur came out again looking to keep that All-American status with 18 kills, 6 digs, and a block assist. She just couldn't be stopped with a career-high hitting percentage of .680. Shane Sorensen was right behind her and played just as well with 10 kills, 7 digs, and 3 block assists. After the win, the girls stayed to sign posters and talk to fans. Grayson DeBose could not be happier about how the ladies played.
We did. We started off really well, I thought, and we kind of kept the momentum rolling, and I was really pleased with how focused in we were. That's one of the things we've tried to emphasize the last little while. We need to stay focused for a long period of time, and that's the difference between a good team and a great team, I think, is your ability to kind of do stuff for a long time. So
it was good to get the 2-match momentum, I guess, and get those 2 home wins. Those are big, and we'll be at San Jose and Hawaii this week, and these are big games as well for us. So now, starting right now, we're focusing on our match against San Jose.
It's good to see the Aggies back on their feet. Like Liz said, they are gunning for another win tonight at San Jose against the Spartans, who they beat 4 weeks ago in a 3-set sweep in the Spectrum. On Friday, they take on the Rainbow Wahine in Hawaii, hoping to bring their record to an even 11-11. We wish the best of luck to the Lady Aggies. The cross-country team competed in the Chili Pepper Festival in Arkansas on Saturday. Senior captain Brian McKenna led the team to a 4th place finish. He finished 15th out of 288 runners. Sophomore Kyle McKenna finished 35th place, and senior Daniel Howell finished 40th place. USU's women finished in 14th place, with sophomore Hannah Williams leading the pack, crossing the finish line in 81st place. Cross-country action continues as Utah State travels to Honolulu for the 2011 WAC Championship on October 29th. Men's and women's tennis both competed in tournaments last week. The men competed in the intercollegiate tournament at the University of Utah. After the first day of competition, freshman Marcus Fritz and sophomore Frederick Peterson were the only Aggies left standing. The duo worked their way to the semifinal round of doubles competition, but fell Friday morning to Utah's Ace Matias and Alejandro Mendonilla, 8-1. In the singles play consolation bracket, senior Lenny Whiting defeated his teammate, sophomore Brandon Nielsen, in 2 close sets, both 7-6. Whiting went on to lose in 2 sets to Simon Unger from Weber State. Utah State will compete at the Intercollegiate Tennis Association Regional Competition in Las Vegas, October 19th to the 23rd. Women's tennis competed at the ITA Regional Tournament last weekend. Senior Monica Abella and freshman Mackenzie Davis flew through double competition. They started the day on Thursday with an 8-5 win over Caroline Schnell and Steffi Rath from Denver University. The USU duo then went on to defeat Michelle Okramchuk and Emma Verburn from the University of Nevada 8-6. They advanced to the round of 16 but fell the next day to Boise State's Sandy Vo and Marlena Pietzuk. This tournament concludes the women's fall season. Women's tennis action will resume in the spring. That's it for sports. Stay tuned for more ATV news.
Until the end of the month, you have a chance to see the next Pablo Picasso right here on campus. The Kane College of the Arts is displaying the works of its best students at the Tibbet Exhibit Hall.
This exhibition displays artwork from students who have received scholarships from Kane College of the Arts.
I picked a particular kind of scholarship and sent invitations to a bunch of students, and the people that responded are present in the show. I think I requested 3 pieces from each student, and most of them gave me 3 or sometimes 4, depending on the size. And
although Professor Terry did not select any of the scholarship recipients, he believes that students who have excelled in some ways were the ones who applied and received scholarship funding.
The thing that strikes me most about it, and the thing that I'm very proud of, is the diversity. That there's a very, very wide range of things that have been made, from functional pottery to sculptural ceramic work. There's a lot of photography in there from 3 or 4 different photo students. There's students that are in areas like drawing and painting. And students win scholarships at many different levels. So there are graduate students that are in the show, and there are also freshmen that are in the show.
One of the scholarship recipients, Leslie Franson, who's an interior design major, interprets a product of art.
So this is a trace that I did, and then we are supposed to scan it into Photoshop and do a rendering of it. So this is basically the exact copy of it, and it's supposed to look near like a photograph.
Hopefully, more students will showcase their talent in art in the near future. Nadia Johari, ATV News.
You can see the Future Masters for free. The show runs Monday to Friday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. until October 27th.
This year, HOW organizers have decided to reduce the numbers of tickets sold. Last year, people found difficulty getting from one place to another due to it being so crowded. This year, it will be less cramped with activities spread throughout the campus. There will be a carnival-themed dance party, live bands such as Cartel, games, and performances by USU's dance teams. For tickets to the event, you can go to the USU ticket office in the TSC, or you can buy them at the door. Thanks for joining us for ATV News. I'm Bailey McMurdy.
And I'm Melissa Youngberg.
And I'm Carly Lichty. We'll take you back to a beautiful fall day on the quad.